Hello, it's me, Jen again. I hope you're doing well. Last week, I think, I uploaded the first video of me reading a story, a short story that I think had been published at one point. It was kind of a weird fairy tale-esque sort of thing. And I thought, well, I have work in progress right now. And I thought, what better way to motivate me to get some of it done to the point where, like, I hand it over to an editor and I can say, okay, stop touching it. Writers, you know how that is. You get to a point, you do, and then there's nothing else you can do until you hand it over to somebody else. So I thought I would, and that's why it's still on my phone, I thought I would read just a couple of pages of it that I feel like are done to the point where I can hand them over to an editor and have them rip it apart, and hopefully not too much because I've done a lot of work on it, but we'll see. The working title of this is The Ideal of Roses, and it's a bit of gothic horror, a bit of kind of poetic. I'm toying with the style. Every single one of my books is a little bit different. Every single one of my stories is a little bit different. I kind of do this and that, and I look at writing as a constant experiment. I'm not professional enough to say, oh, this is my style, and this is what I have to do, and this is my career, and this is how I'm going to do it. I feel like I'm fortunate in that I've been able to kind of play with a lot of different styles of writing. And I hope to kind of show that when I'm reading some of these little clips and things, is that I just kind of do what is fun for the moment. And I try some new things, and I experiment with style, and I experiment with writing. I'm not going to say I'm good at any of them, but I have a really good time doing it. So here is just a couple of pages of The Ideal of Roses. Please feel free to comment. Rituals. We create them, learn them, lean upon them to explain, direct, and stem the flood of emotions humans are so prone to. Be they joy, grief, love, or unity, it is ritual that frames and channels the emotion of each experience. From my earliest memories, rituals fill my recollections. Acts and service in edification to proper manners, events thrust upon a young life, a role dedicated by birth and time. Proper manners, and more so wariness toward those who failed to perform as prescribed. The solemn rituals were most disconcerting when behaviors were not adhered to. That first tangible memory to call upon lessons pressed into my being included flickering candles whose mutilated tapers of bubbled wax illuminated dark rooms from ornamented sconces and stands. Slivers of daylight scarcely ribboned edges of lush velvet curtains. Beyond thick fabric, early spring warmed stained glass artistry, the designs of which elude my memory. The caress of nature's rebirth little enlivened a space chilled by lack of her light. Darker still were the aforementioned emotions of gathered attendees garbed in somber costume. I remember my small self at 5, though Auntie oft claimed my years closer to 7. Age and time are curious things, I have found. What did remain in great clarity was prim yet yielding lace as nimble fingers clutched starched trim of black pinafore. A memory that continues to scratch my skin as the fabric did at its touch. The wriggling of tiny digits gloved in black lace worked the rigid cloth, thoughts wandering. The reflection of overhanging lamps warped in curved toes of polished black shoes, A squeak of leather marked time in the memory with each shift of toe and heel. The simple ringlets of my hair pinned beneath morning bonnet tickled at my ears and brow. Even in reminiscence, my scalp itched. Custom and ordinance turned solemn child to a doll-like figure propped between the pair of looming caskets. A child so slight of build, powdered cheeks were upturned to peer into the paired ornamental boxes. Mirrored within polished gold trim, my blue eyes reverberated emotions foreign and distant. The dark lace collar clawed at tender skin as my toes raised me to gape into the cases. How those enigmatic carvings of tendril, vine, and leaf haunted dreams past to present. With a symmetry sinister in its mimicry of nature's unmetered modest beauty, some petulant artist's attempt to capture life plagiarized from the terminated arbor, expertly splintered to encase within its still warm carapace mortal husks, once robust with virility and allure. Labyrinthine blooms, an apiary of emerging spring, and the covenant of life these cadavers would never again appraise. With the same infernal genius, morticians' hands and chemicals dismissed blood from sedate vistage of man and wife cradled within the twin mahogany cadavers. These bodies, hollow and lacking, to the child reflected in metallic embellishment, were unfamiliar, faces powdered aspects of those once beloved souls. So that's all I have for you right now on that one. I am open to any criticisms, ideas, comments you may have on it. It's a little heavy of a read, and I'm excited to say that it gets kind of heavier throughout. I'm having a lot of fun with this one. As many of you know, the latest book that I put out with the help of Bob Frank was science fiction in its way and a little bit metaphysical. I feel like it was a lot more lighthearted than what this is going to be, and it was a lot of fun to write, but I'm in a space now, and I think it's going to be a really interesting ride to get through this one. So I'll try to keep you updated on where I'm going with it, and I hope you will continue to join me in these little story times. All right,